Hello students, a hearty welcome to my channel. In today's class we are going to start with a brand new topic, that is looping or iteration. So in our daily life we have seen many things where we need to repeat certain tasks. You get up every morning, you brush your teeth, you freshen up, you go to school, come back home, have your lunch, go to the coaching, okay, come back, have your dinner, study for a while, interact with your family members, and then you go to sleep. Same way, the sun rises every day and sets. That is also a cycle. All planets revolve around the sun regularly at a regular period. That is also a task which is repeated every day. Not every day, but at a certain interval of time. Similarly, we also perform many activities which have to be repeated at regular intervals of time. And for handling all those types of activities, we need to create certain programs. Even in programming, we need to perform certain tasks which can be done faster. Normally, we as human beings, if when it comes to doing something which involves repetition of something, we find it very difficult after a certain time. When we started with a fresh mind, with a very fresh approach, and also we are full of energy. Our energy level is high, and our accuracy rates are also high. So but as time passes and fatigue creeps in, we start getting tired. The work becomes quite monotonous, and when we start becoming tired, uh, we start committing mistakes. So we are not able to maintain that accuracy for a longer period of time. Instead of that, if work is done electronically by a computer, we know that a computer never gets tired. It can continuously work for long stretches or long hours and without getting tired and with the same accuracy as it was doing when it started the work. So for the same purpose itself, we are going to study looping or iteration. Now it is we human beings who will tell the computer how to do a task, and the computer is going to do that for us. So how to do that? Let's see. As you can see, we are starting with a topic that is looping. What is looping or what is iteration? So iteration means repetition of some task. When we repeat some task again and again, it is known as repetition. So let us take, for example, one such task like a few friends are coming to your house, and you're in a fix what to do. So what your friends want is they want some handmade cookies which are completely baked by you. So what will you do for that? You will have to uh, figure out what input has to be taken. So you'll be taking up a batch. That is, I'm just going to specify some lines here. So you can see these are some of the steps for preparing cookies. A complete stepwise uh, method has been specified here, as you can see over here. So there are some 8 steps involved, right from preheating the oven to serving the cookies. So now your friends arrive, you serve them the cookies. Now some more friends arrive. You didn't have any idea, but somehow they came to know that you are holding a small housewarming party. And so they also arrive, they show up all of a sudden. And what you have to do is you just have to think about what to do next. They also, and by some means, they come to know that you have yourself prepared, you have yourself baked those cookies, so they even start demanding it. What would you do? What would be your approach? You will definitely be again repeating all these steps. So now Just think about one such machine which you have, which automatically does it. You have a person, a very dumb person who is a servant. You just hire a, not a servant, but you can say that you hire a helper who will be helping you with this because you have to attend to the guests. So there should be someone who can help you with this. Now the problem with the helper is the helper doesn't know anything. He is a total dumb person and he is completely like he doesn't know anything. So I'll just show you a small animation on this. So here it is. Hi, I'm a baker. Meet my apprentice. Add a package of yeast. I can't find a package of yeast. The refrigerator is over there. Inside the refrigerator is a little package. Go get it. Now what? Put the package in the bowl. Hey, open the package first. So here you can see that I had, it was a very crude animation. It's not complete yet. But you can just imagine that if you have a dumb helper, a dumb assistant, that assistant doesn't even know the basic things. So you will have to exactly tell him what to do. So these are some of the steps which you have to feed into his mind, and you will have to tell him how many times to repeat it. That is how many batches of cookies he has to create. So if you just tell him, okay, create 6 batches of cookies for today, so he will do it exactly the same way. Once you tell him everything, he will do everything without getting tired, without asking questions, without getting annoyed. And you can also attend to your guests, and you can also have as many number of cookies at your dispense whenever you want. So something like this itself, our computer just works like an assistant, like the same assistant. We just need to tell the computer how many times a particular code has to be executed, and the computer does exactly the same thing. So in Python, we are going to learn two such loops, while and for. So we will start with the while loop today. Now, when I write while loop, we will be following a certain syntax of while loop. First step is initialization. Second step is while keyword along with condition or expression. And within this we have statements. It could be one statement, it could be more than one statements, and update expression. And you can see indentation over here, which is mandatory for every such construct in Python. And this becomes your while block, also known as while loop body. Okay, let's check out an example of this. Now here, before we check out the example, we will see how it already works. So we have some statements here before while. Now after while, you need to specify some initialization. Initialize values. Next is you draw a decision box which holds your condition. If the condition is true, then execute some statements, and again go back to your condition. That is, go back and check the condition again. If it is true, execute the statement, again go back. So continue executing the statement till the condition is true. When the condition is false, then just exit the loop and move to the next bunch of statements. So while loop will execute till the condition is true. The moment condition is false, the loop exits. So till the time a particular condition is satisfied, it is true, you have to execute the statement, and the moment the condition is false, you have to exit the loop. Let's see an example of this. Suppose you have a question. Write a program in Python to print the first 10 natural numbers. So this is the question which we have. You have to print the first 10 natural numbers. So printing first 10 natural numbers is not a big deal. You can simply write a program which prints the first 10 natural numbers in the usual way. So let me just write it. I'm making the program in the interactive mode, so you will be able to understand how we write a program in the interactive mode also. So if I have to print first 10 natural numbers, I can simply go on writing like this. And so on. It won't take more than 5 minutes for me to print these natural numbers. Fine. And even if I do it in the script mode, I'm just taking a name over here, false name. First 10 natural numbers .py. I can simply go on writing like this. I'll just copy this and I'll change the numbers here. And just save it and just run it, and you can see first 10 natural numbers are printed. Now if suppose somebody asks that instead of printing the first 10 natural numbers, what to do? You have to print 100 natural numbers. Now what would you do for that? Will you sit there copying this code another 9 times and changing the numbers there? The answer is no. We will not do that, because why should we work hard when a computer can work hard? We need to work smarter, computer needs to work harder. So we are going to do it using a program, and how that program is going to be. So what we are going to do is we will first draw a flowchart to understand how our program is going to work. So we will first draw a start box, because we have to start from a particular point. So we will be needing a loop control variable which will control our loop, and it will be also having the initial value. So for that I'm just taking a variable I and giving it the value 1. Set I equals 1. So this I is my loop control variable which will be controlling my loop also, and which will be the initial value for the loop as well. Now what I am going to do is I am going to check, is I less than equal to 10? We will ask the question. If the answer is yes, then we will print the value of I. So we will simply write print I, and we have to write the update expression also, that is set I equals I plus 1. We will be incrementing the value of I by 1 because we have to print first 10 natural numbers. So we have to increase the value of I such that this loop works till it reaches 10. Now after doing this, my program control will again go back to check the condition. Is I less than equal to 10? If it is yes, it will print I, again increment the value of I, again check the condition. So this cycle will continue till the time I is less than equal to 10. Now when the condition becomes false, there would be a time when I will exceed 10. It will be greater than 10. That is no. At that time what I need to do is stop the program. Let us see a dry run of this. First we take I and we set its value as 1. Okay. Now we check the condition. Is 1 less than equal to 10? Answer is yes. Print I. So 1 is printed here. And set I equals I plus 1. So now the value of I will be set to 2. Go back again. Check the condition. Is 2 less than equal to 10? Answer is yes. Print the value 2. Again increment the value of I. So it will be 3 now. Again go back. Is 3 less than equal to 10? Answer is yes. Print I, that is print 3. Set I equals I plus 1. 4. Is 4 less than equal to 10? Answer is yes. Print 4. Come down. Okay. Again check the condition. Okay. Here 4 will be incremented and made 5. Is 5 less than equal to 10? Yes. Print 5. Increment the value, will be 6. Is 6 less than equal to 10? Yes. Print it. Increment the value, make it 7. Is 7 less than equal to 10? Yes. Print it. Again increment the value, it will be 8. Is 8 less than equal to 10? Yes. Print 8. Increment the value to 9. Is 9 less than equal? Yes. Print its value, make it 10. Is 10 less than equal to 10? Answer is yes. Why? Because it's not less but it is equal. Again print the value of 10, increment the value. Now it becomes 11. Is 11 less than equal to 10? Answer is no. So this is the point where the condition is proved false and it will exit the loop and go to stop. And you can see the result that this is the output. First 10 natural numbers. Let's write its code and see. So we will first take I and set its value as 1. While I is less than equal to 10, we will be using a relational operator here. If the condition is true, print the value of I and update expression, that is I plus equal to 1, which stands for I equals I plus 1. You can alternatively write like this also, but because we have studied the augmented assignment operator, so we will be using that. And at the end you can just write end of program. Let's just run the program and see, and you can see that it prints the first 10 numbers, natural numbers, and it also prints the last line, that is end, which is outside the loop. One rule of thumb is all which type of statement should a loop contain? All statements which need to be repeated. Those statements which you feel that it has to be repeatedly executed, that should be placed within the loop, and other statements which are not to be repeated, they will be placed outside the loop. Like here, you can see in this program, print end is a line which doesn't need to be repeated, so it has been placed outside the loop, and you can figure it out by the absence of any indentation here. Whereas in the previous case, these two statements are a part of the while loop because you can see they have an indentation before them. Similarly, if I have to print the numbers on the same line in this way, what will I do for that? As you can see, in between uh, between two numbers, there is a space. So for this, I will be simply using the end argument and giving it a space. When I run the program, you can see that all the outputs are printed on the same line, even end. If you want to print end on the next line, you can just add a slash n before this, and it will print end on the next line. So in the same way, we can also create other programs as well. So I can just change this number. Suppose now I want to print 100 numbers. I will just add 100 here, and you can see that the program automatically prints the first 100 natural numbers. You don't have to do anything for that. So this is how we handle loops. So students, this is just a beginning of loops for us. So I hope you have understood the basic concept of looping, that is the while loop. Slowly and gradually we will be studying more programs which contain a lot of looping concepts. And mark my words, looping is the base for all programming in Python. So please do practice looping very well. So thanks for being with me. I sign out now, and we will meet in the next class.